Hello, everybody, and welcome to a mini episode of the Above Average Joe Show. Today, we are going to be talking with Mario Xavier.
How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Fantastic.
I think the last time I talked to you in person, I want to say we were on Ride Along 2?
It could have been, it was Ride Along 2. You know what, I thought it was, yes, it was Ride Along 2. Yes, it was. I thought it was Allegiant, but yes,
Ride Along 2. Yeah, because Ride Along 2 was after Allegiant, wasn't it? I don't know,
yes.
It's right around the same time.
Or maybe it was around the same time. Yeah, I don't remember.
It all blends in together.
It all blurs, yeah.
Some information about Mario, in case everyone listening is interested. He is part of the Screen Actors Guild and the Directors Guild of America. He's appeared on TV shows, so he's been actually in front of the camera on Burn Notice and a bunch of Telemundo telenovelas. And also been behind the camera on projects such as Burn Notice, Blackish, and Magic City. Also worked on the production of Captain America Civil War, Baywatch, and Ride Along 2, which we just mentioned. But today, we are going to focus on a horror movie, The Possession. We are not going to spoil anything for anybody who has not seen it, even though it is 6 years old.
It's a good one, though. Yeah, it's a good one.
It is a very good one. We will spill a little bit and spoil a couple of things because we do need to talk about some specific scenes. But as far as the plot goes, girl finds this box, which you will see in the trailer. Girl finds a box. Box holds a demon spirit. Demon spirit decides to live inside of her. And then the story unfolds in various scary, freaky ways.
We've all heard that story before.
Oh, those crazy neighbors we have.
You know, it's funny. You actually just said that, and I forgot that the working title of the movie and on our call sheets in the script was actually, and I can't say the name right, the Dybbuk box.
Okay, yeah.
That's what the box that she finds, and I don't know the legend, but it's actually like a Jewish legend, the demon. And that was actually the name of the movie, so we all assumed it was going to be called the Dybbuk box. And then when they released it, I guess they changed it to The Possession, like last minute, I suppose, in post-production.
Yeah, the Dybbuk box is an actual box that holds if you believe in this stuff, holds a real demon. And it is based on that box. I did a bunch of research after watching the movie because I was just curious. And reading the articles will give you chills down your spine. The hairs on your arms will stand up. It is creepy stuff.
Yeah, it's absolutely. It was creepy to shoot, so it was absolutely creepy to read about and watch later on.
And you worked on the reshoots for The Possession.
Yeah, the way it worked out, and it seems weird, but it this is like the process of movie making. They had shot the whole movie in Canada, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan was in Florida because he was working on a series called Magic City at the time on Starz Network. I was ADing certain days on Magic City, so somehow when they needed to do the sort of the pickups, the reshoots for The Possession, they just had me come in with Jeffrey Dean Morgan and handle those things with him. So it was kind of like a weird connection. They have nothing to do with each other. It was just a weird connection that way.
They just had you come in to work with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, all in a day's work.
Oh yeah, he's an amazing human being. I'm super happy he's killing it on Walking Dead. So,
and that is actually one of the questions I have that I was thinking about this afternoon because I just rewatched The Possession and I'm a huge fan of The Walking Dead. Is he more like the character in The Walking Dead and Negan, where he's just all happy and playful, and I hope you're wearing your shitting pants today? Or is he more like the loving fatherly type like in The Possession?
Minus the murder, he's pretty happy-go-lucky guy, and very down-to-earth and very humble. And, I had a PA that I brought along who I sort of assigned to him for him, and he's like, oh no, just hang in the trailer and play with my dog. So he was just super down to earth, and so we had a trailer down there in The Possession, somewhere when you're thinking of all the scary stuff going on. Downstairs, it was just Jeffrey Dean and a PA playing with dogs. Like that was going on.
I really hope there's a photo of that somewhere that PA has or that Jeffrey has or somebody.
She does, but I have photos with Jeffrey, but I don't have photos of that.
Yeah. And then also, one of the questions I had too, I worked on film, so I kind of know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you to let our listeners know, why do reshoots happen? Why is there reshoots? Is that because somebody screwed up the first time? Is it because they missed something? Is it a combination of all of that? Or
It can be many reasons. It could be, the movie's either something doesn't get finished during principal photography, so they sort of throw something on as a sort of a reshoot or a second unit thing. That's a possibility. Or they watched the movie and something was missing and they needed to get these inserts or these little pickup shots. That's very possible. So there's a lot of reasons reshoots happen. Or maybe test audiences hate the ending and like, this is an awful ending and something's missing or whatever. I think in this case it was a little bit of both, or a little bit of a few things. What happened was there was a bridge of information missing, so there was a bit of a rewrite to allow for certain scenes to take place that sort of bridged information, like where did the girl go between here and there. We needed to fill that information in. So it was a little bit of various reasons for those reshoots to happen.
cool. And during those reshoots, you did reshoots that were in a hospital scene, and this is after the girl is already possessed. And now Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who is her father, is trying to find her and um, save her from this demon that's living within her.
Right.
And how scary on set is it working in that kind of situation? I know that you got the actors there and you're standing behind a bunch of equipment that nobody will ever see on screen, but it seems like the feel of it would still be there, that the atmosphere would still be kind of creepy.
Yeah, it was weird because it was an old hospital that was, whatever reason the county shut it down because they moved to a bigger facility. So it was an old hospital that had been used also for other things it filmed in the area. Like there was a TV show called The Glades that would film a lot of their hospital exteriors and some interiors there in this old hospital. But where we were, which was sort of like a more inside area, totally empty, not all the lights worked, so it was a very weird, behind the scenes feeling. We did the morgue. It wasn't the actual morgue, it was just sort of a large open room. But it gets weird because we had the creepy like red lights in the morgue. We had all these extras as the dead bodies. I guess someone figured it was cheaper and easier to have actual extras laying underneath the curtain, underneath the sheets, laying in the bed, than put mannequins. I was suggesting, why don't we just put mannequins? And they're like, no, it's easier to just put extras. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So we had all these extras in their underwear laying there. It's really awkward. And then, so that's like funny in itself because sometimes during a take, somebody would, have to like scratch. So you'd see like this very scary, dramatic, and you just see like one dead body scratching or sneezing or something hilarious like that. So
Dead bodies do get erections, though. I don't know if.
Luckily, that was not a problem.
Okay.
It was a very cool building, so we didn't have that problem. It did occur to a lot of us, like, well, maybe nothing happened. So thankfully,
not in this scene.
That wasn't a problem, but it was as creepy it is to look at. There were moments like we had the little girl, sort of in the corner under the red lights, with their hair all possessed or whatever, her hair down over her face. That looks a little creepy on set. You're like, oh, I took some photos of that, and it was a little like, well, that's freaky. But in general, horror movies especially are super awkward to shoot because there's really, like the girl hanging from the ceiling was a wig on a stick. When you look at that, like it's hilarious in person. In the movie, it looks terrifying because it's edited with music and everything, but wig on a stick sometimes.
And was that the actual actress that was there then that day, or did they have a double come in, since you don't really see her face at that moment when she's in the red light?
We had the little girl. We did a bunch of shots with her. We had the little girl, the actress on set, and we had a stunt double hanging from the ceiling on a harness and sort of flying across the room. So we had both on set. And the little girl also had, and again, this is one of those like weird, silly things that you see on set. she had little motion tracking dots on her face because her
Ah,
face sort of contorts or morphs or whatever,
yeah.
as she's possessed. So it's a little bit of combination of we're seeing this girl's face plain, no special effect, and then also morphing into demon face with motion track. But again, it's just a little girl on set with like painted polka dots all over her face. So, it doesn't look scary in the movie. It's terrifying, but it just looks awkward, in real life.
And then you said that she had a stunt person with her. How old-ish is her stunt double? Did they get like an adult to play the 9-year-old, or did they find a 9-year-old stunt double, or?
Oh, it was a grown woman. I mean, I very rarely heard of children performing a stunt, really just for obvious reasons. There are children who are gymnasts and martial artists who get picked to do some things, but you really obviously, for obvious reasons, don't want a child doing anything of any physical danger. But anything most times when there's a child doing something physical dangerous, there's an adult who's just very small. So really, if you're a short adult and you're actually, athletically inclined, you might have an awesome career doubling children.
Or if you are a wig on a stick.
Or a wig on a stick. If you're a wig on a stick, you're gonna do well in film industry as well.
And you had sent me another photo. I believe that they were setting up a shot, it looked like, because there was a girl on an apple box. And they were facing each other. There's a guy and a girl on an apple box. I couldn't tell if it was you or somebody else.
No, that was a stand-in. Yeah, we were just setting up. That's exactly when like the father finds a little girl wandering this abandoned hospital. That was exactly that shot that we were setting up for. And I think you can kind of see the wig and the stick blurry in the background.
Yeah.
Because that's sort of like, that sort of reveal when she drops off the ceiling kind of thing. So we're kind of like setting that stuff up there.
And one thing that we did mention before is that we had worked on Ride Along 2 together.
Yeah.
And I actually just sat down with Lorenzo Yerby. And I don't know if this episode will air before or after his episode, but one thing that we talked about was the scene that takes place in the quote-unquote club, which was the Capitol building in Atlanta.
Oh, right.
And there was a shootout scene. And honestly, this is one of my, one of the more humorous memories I have from working on that set. Because they had the shootout in one section, and then all of the background and extras had to exit as fast as they can and evacuate because of the shootout up these stairs and around the corners. And I don't know what happened in the scene that was taking so long, but it got to the point of where everybody had evacuated, so nothing was happening. And you're like, I need people, come, and someone. And all the girls were refusing because they were wearing heels.
Oh, yeah.
So you ended up running back and forth because nobody else wanted to run.
That's so funny. What an incredible memory you guys have about that. That's so funny. It is actually in the movie. Yeah, there was. I won't name the actors. I feel terrible. I don't want to embarrass them. But the lead actors some actors in that scene could not remember their lines. Maybe because we were filming that for 5 nights straight.
Yeah.
It was exhausting, and everybody was tired, and there was just hundreds of extras in this giant building, which was supposed to be a nightclub. It was, like you said, the Georgia Capitol building, and everybody was just dead exhausted.
When you're there for 12 hours overnight, by the time you hit hour 9, you're already exhausted, let alone hour 12.
Yeah, and you never can, you have jet lag because you can't regulate your sleep. Everybody was exhausted. It was awful. And then, so what ended up happening was, the actor couldn't, and finally it was the last take. I mean, you feel when it's the last take because there was so much frustration because the actor couldn't get the line. And I think we had to be out of there by a certain time because it is the Georgia Capitol building and employees come in at a certain time to work. So there's only so much time to shoot those scenes. But yeah, I remember that. It was like we were out of extras running away. So I just threw my radio on the floor and ran across from behind the camera, and that's the take that made it. And the director of photography was like, "Oh, thank goodness! Like the timing was perfect." Everybody was laughing because it was just me scrambling up the stairs, like if I just escaped the shooting,
And you did a couple of somersaults too. I remember you doing flips onto the couch and everything.
Oh yeah. We tried to make it ridiculous. Like I tried to jump, over the couch, all those things. Yeah, we
You
tried
were
to make
trying
it
to be like 5 people all at once. It was great.
It was just really nuts.
And while we were also there at the Capitol building, I was just watching Ken Jeong's stand-up comedy routine that you can watch on Netflix, depending on when you listen to this. It might be on Netflix still, it might not be.
That should
But
be it.
one thing he mentions is working on that set when somebody had gone into a seizure, I believe.
Oh
And you
yeah, that
probably
was
know more
amazing.
about that than I did because I completely missed it.
First of all, Ken is an amazing guy. He was amazing, but he is a practicing doctor. People don't realize he's a licensed ER physician, and he was explaining to us like he still puts in shifts at the hospital near his home in LA to keep his medical license active, which is amazing. Like he's a full-time working actor and still saves lives, a sort of a hobby at this point.
Yeah, and even that hobby you have to keep up to date with. You can't all of a sudden let your medical experience go 5 years behind or you're totally lost.
Yeah, and as he was explaining it, you have to keep your license. You have to still practice at least one day a month or something to keep your license or something. He explained it every few months, at least one day to maintain. Well, whatever the point is, we were filming all night, and in the middle of a scene, an extra out of hundreds of extras near the vicinity where he was shooting a scene went into a seizure. I suppose because of the lights and everything that we were filming with, went into a seizure on the ground, and as obviously. As soon as we called the paramedics, and we were very close to the main hospital there in Atlanta because we were in downtown Atlanta, so the paramedics were there within minutes. But he, mid-scene, saw it, ran, started, treating the patient, sort of making sure, taking his vitals and things like that, and sort of taking care of him until the paramedics arrived. And the minute the paramedics arrived, he explained and he gave an impressive breakdown. So it's amazing to see him switch from funny actor mode to doctor mode very quickly. It's an amazing thing to watch, but it's humbling to see a guy like that. And he was just a great guy to be around and everything.
Yeah, because I remember also during those overnights too that he ended up ad-libbing a bunch behind the bar where the shootout took place.
Oh,
and it was just phenomenal. Oh, we were rolling so hard. I remember Lorenzo saying too. He's like, that was the one time I thought I would get kicked off of set because I was laughing so hard.
Oh, he kept everybody. It's funny. He actually, on the note of Ken Jeong, I have photos. I brought my wife and son one weekend, and it was the scene in the end, the wedding scene, and we were at this resort out in the country, away from Atlanta, and he was just goofing around. And I found him and my son going down the slides in this playground near set. Because we couldn't find him for like 5 minutes. I go, where did Ken go? And it was like, he's just over there going down the slide. So I have some photos of him and my son just goofing around, rolling down a hill and everything like that. So he's just a dad. Like, acting is sort of a second career for him after obviously being a real life physician.
And real quick, because we're running out of time, because I want to keep these short, you have a YouTube channel. And you also have a series on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, we have a couple things. Yeah, I think the way of the future, I tell indie filmmakers, the way of the future is making things on your own. And a lot of the time nowadays, I work a lot less. I make my own stuff now, as silly as it is. And it's all ridiculous. But you can definitely look up Mario Xavier on Amazon Prime. I have a few channels on YouTube. Mario's Mockbusters. Obviously, they're all movie parodies. They're all mockbuster parodies.
I have to say, I love Dinosaur Zoo.
Dinosaurs, millions of views at this point in my life. Thank you.
It's so good. And what was the inspiration for Super Mega Ninja Rangers on Amazon Prime?
Rangers, oh my goodness. Obviously, I grew up with Power Rangers. My son grows up with Power Rangers 25 years later. Obviously, the show's still on. And one of his Taekwondo teachers was a Power Ranger, so we sort of was like, what, we got to make this show. So it's sort of like a parody of Power Rangers in and of itself.
Awesome, and we are going to go ahead and call it an episode. Thank you so much, Mario, for hanging out and talking.
Thanks for having me.
And for anybody that's listening, we will have links to the YouTube channel. We will have links for the Amazon Prime. And so you can catch any of those things on the Instagram or the Facebook or the Twitter. And we will see you guys next week on the Above Average Joe Show.
All right, thanks again, guys.
Thank you again to our guest, Mario Xavier. Special shout out and thanks to Addison and Jamie Lynn for all their assistance on this episode. And be sure to check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and also check us out on Spotify, Stitcher, and or iTunes. You can also check out another podcast I co-host, The Extraordinary and Other Great Media Content by Moon Possum Productions at moonpossum.com. And we will be back next week with another episode of the Above Average Joe Show!